We didn't talk about my Botox, my lip flip.
Did you get it?
I did Thursday.
I didn't notice anything.
It says take 7 to 10 days.
And it blows up?
And then I don't know.
Let's talk about it.
And then she did 2 on the eyebrows up here.
Let's talk about it.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it after. And I'll be like, nothing happened.
Yeah.
I feel like they duped me. I mean, I didn't pay for it, but I feel like I got duped because
she's like, I'm not paying.
Because they were very quick to be like, and if you don't like it, you can come back and we'll put more. And I'm like,
It was free.
It wasn't free.
They gave you the free water.
Yeah, they gave me a free water. I did get a free water. That's funny you say that.
Free water injection.
I got a free water injection. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Do It Like Danny. Today is day number 4,722 of me not having sex.
What? What? Where'd that come from?
Just kidding. Who am I kidding?
I was going to say, I think the show would be a lot different. You'd be a lot angrier. I almost made a spit out of this water. It's a good one. And you know what? And with that, welcome to Do It Like Danny.
I'm going to tell a million stories, and maybe one will hit home, and you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. What is? You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Do It Like Danny. I've swallowed. I'm so much better. Are you okay there?
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, my God. I hope you enjoyed that opening. That was a rare first time ever. That was good. So busy. We have politics to talk about. I have maybe one, maybe 2 stories. Let's see. The first one, I'm just going to jump right into it. So, you know, I've been struggling with my weight. I'm not going to go on Ozempic. I'm not going to be one of those everybody on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not going to be an Ozempic whore and or Manjaro or whatever the name, whatever you're on, right? I mean, because all of a sudden my Facebook feed just got really lighter.
Really?
Like people's like got necks all of a sudden, and I was like,
you're like, wait a minute,
this bitch is on fucking Ozempic. Right? And I don't drink as much anymore, and I'm gaining weight, so it's either cancer or I shouldn't make a joke like that. But whatever. Something's going on with me. I got to figure it out. I think I have a tumor that weighs 87 pounds.
As you just said, I got to start making jokes like that.
Something is going on in my body. Obamacare, where are you? So, where should I even begin? Okay, so everybody knows I work for a blind lady, right? I'm a healthcare worker. They're like, Stewie, a healthcare worker. And so I take care of her, for the most part, 6 days a week. And so...
Still working out for you pretty well?
We'll talk about that. It's burning me out. It's too much.
Yeah.
6 days a week is just too much. I don't feel like I have a life. And, you know, when I request things off, I feel like she makes a big deal about me taking off. And then there's days, though, which I don't understand, like tomorrow, she's like, I just have a doctor's appointment. And it's
but
like,
you know it's more than that.
Yeah. And it's like, and that, I think that's the part that stresses me out more. It's like, and I would say, yeah, it stresses me out more. And that is the not knowing.
Yeah.
You know, perfect example, you know, last week she said, oh, it's just going to be these 3 things, right? No, we went to it was those 3 things, but those 3 things were 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it's not that she doesn't have the hours. I just don't think she understands that she doesn't have the hours.
Yeah.
Because there's the wear and tear on my car. There's basically when I calculated, if she were to Uber to all these places on her own, which other blind people do, it would have been, I think, $500 a week.
Wow.
That's $2,000 a month, right?
And you're not getting that.
I'm not getting anywhere near that, right? And then what she's done is she's conditioned me to do all the things that I'm not supposed to be doing, right? And now she's working in all the things that I'm supposed to do. So it's more.
Yeah, and you're not getting that money.
And I'm not getting any money. And I don't want to say, well, you owe me this, because whatever, right? But I just don't think she understands at the end of the day, she doesn't have any hours.
Yeah.
You know, I'm definitely on call. Like, I still don't have my schedule for next week.
That's so
And
weird.
It's Sunday, and it's, you know. Anyways, hopefully we can rectify it. But if not, then I'm going to have to figure something out because I enjoy doing it. It is not terrible for me right now, but I'm starting to be like, it's a lot.
Yeah, taking
And
care of
I
people.
don't think she realizes it. And even though I'm just carting her from point A to point B and then doing other things also too, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot on my car. You know, we're putting over 300 miles a week on my car. I haven't driven for the platform in 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, how? And I calculated how many miles. It's just her. I calculated the gas. It's just her. I mean, I've gone like maybe to Disney once or twice, right? But I every day I calculate all the miles. Anyways, I've gotten off on. I've gone off. I had to get that out. I feel better now.
Yeah, you have to get it out.
Oh, I feel free.
Okay, now we're back to the show.
I feel so much lighter. Back to the show. And we're back. So this is a very embarrassing story, but I have to tell it. So because I was talking about struggling with weight, right?
Yeah.
I started doing like a shake in the morning because I don't really like breakfast. But
Okay.
I'm like, oh, it starts your metabolism, blah, 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 right? So I do a shake in the morning or a protein bar, and it's helped me because I don't eat that much for lunch, and then I'm trying not to eat dinner, right?
Yeah.
Late at night. That's my curse.
That's my
you know?
curse,
You're
too.
like, it's 11 o'clock.
Let's eat.
Make a quesadilla. And, you know, and I make good food,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like, ha. It's not like, I don't go to Jack in the Box or McDonald's or that crap. But I make good food, chicken tacos. I mean, the night that we were here with Darnella, we went home, I made chicken tacos.
You didn't tell me.
She
I
was
didn't
like,
have none.
what the fuck? I even gave her something to take home. And she's like, oh my God, you're so crazy. You're making it. And they were delicious.
Yeah.
All right, so back to this story. So I started with these shakes. Well, they're vegan. And because they're vegan, you know, I put them in my little shake, my blender, and I put like blueberries, I put almond milk and turmeric and beet powder and all other things that like are supposed to make you feel healthy and delicious and younger.
And clean you out.
Thank you. Right? Yeah. So I went to my client's house and I was like, oh my God, right? We were about to start our errands and I felt it go, and I went,
I could use the restaurant.
I think I'll be okay. Like I've only peed. I've only number one to her house ever. I've never, and I was like, I had a shake. I had to tell her, I'm like, I had a shake this morning. I'm so sorry. I have to use the restroom. And she's like, oh my God, don't worry about it, right? So I go and I sit there and I'm like, oh God, please be quiet, please be quiet. And luckily it wasn't bad, right? But to be safe, I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna courtesy flush. So when I hit the handle courtesy flush, right, I hear the toilet begin to flush. And I'm like, oh, great, whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it to like, you know, whatever, fill up because you hear the water. And all of a sudden, and this is probably TMI, my balls feel cold. And I'm like,
Oh no!
oh my God, right? So I jumped up.
No!
I thought that I had overflowed the toilet. No, it gets better. When I jumped up, I didn't realize she had a bidet.
Oh.
The bidet the water was coming from the bidet.
Got it, okay.
And it was squirting me. So I was like, right. So I jump up and I turn towards the toilet. No way! Not realizing that thing is shooting out the toilet. It's all on the front of me.
Oh no.
My underwear are soaked. My shorts are soaked. And I'm like, I just started laughing. So I'm like, I see the little knob and I shut it off, right? And I'm like, oh my God, there's water all over the floor.
Yeah.
I was clean.
I was going to tell you, she's blind. She didn't get to see you that way.
Oh my God. But I was like, so she hears me laughing. She goes, everything okay? I go, oh my God. I go, you'll never guess what I just did. And I tell her, and so she so kindly, she gave me paper towels and I like was cleaning it up. And then I Lysol, I cleaned it to make sure that it was, you know, clean, just to make sure.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you didn't know I had a bidet? I'm like, no, I've never, you know, engaged in number two ever, right? I don't really do, I did it my own house, right? Or Disneyland.
Yeah.
The nice bathrooms at Disney. So I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing, right? So then she goes, yeah. So then I look over the side of the toilet and I see it. I'm like, that's what I accidentally hit that when I flushed the toilet. So I'm like, you should try it. And I'm like, well, I pretty much almost just did, right? But let me get a good...
It tried you.
Yeah, let me get a good run on it, right? So I put it on and I was like, ooh.
You've never tried one?
You go to Europe and you see them, but I mean, you know, they're water fountains. No, I was kidding.
I mean, I have one at my house. I love it.
Oh my God. It was invigorating.
Yeah, it's next level clean for me personally.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it also too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I really like this a lot, right? So then I was like done. And I was like, oh, it's so clean, whatever. But I'm soaking wet now. So I'm like, oh God, thank God it was like, I don't know, 185 degrees.
Yeah.
She loves to do errands when it's 185 degrees. And I tried the best I could, but I was soaking wet.
Yeah.
And then it's going to dry. So luckily, yeah, it was 185 degrees. By the time we got to the first errand, I was dry. I was already dry. My underwear was dry. Everything was dry. I was like, oh my God, that's how hot it was in the valley.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing. I'm like, I can't wait to tell the story on the show. And maybe that's happened to you. And if it's happened to you, you should respond. Like, follow, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts.
Oh, man.
And then this week, I had fallen, right? So I've been slowly integrating myself back into the pool.
Okay.
Because you have to climb up the ladder, you have to get in and out, and my knee still is kind of like.
Just gonna ask you how you feeling.
Yeah, I'm a lot better than I was before.
Okay.
I still need another probably week or two.
Yeah. You're lucky.
I can still feel like it's sore, my wrist, and today my ankle just gave out for no reason. I was like, oh, right. I was like, oh my God, what's happening to my ankle? But I'm on my turmeric and my ginger, so I don't really feel a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But I can feel the soreness from when I fell. So I went to the pool, and all the kids are going back to school now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting all these different lifeguards that are beginning to teach the class because people are getting transferred or people are going off back to school.
Yeah.
It's summertime is ending for the pool, right?
Because it's like volunteers. Is it volunteers?
No, they're paid lifeguards.
Oh, okay.
They're paid lifeguards. If you're a volunteer, I would teach the class.
Okay.
But in order for me to teach the class, I have to become an actual lifeguard, and there's no guarantee that I'll teach the class. And
yeah, it's just kind of a pain.
Excuse me. And for me personally, I would love to teach the class. And people have said you should teach it. I've taught it twice because no one showed up, and I was like, all right.
You're like, all right, I'll do it.
And I did it. But I'm very lucky. So the pool supervisor, his name is Jorge.
Mm-hmm.
People say George, the colonizer.
This is a different George than the one we talked about that used to live at your.
Oh yeah, different. Yeah, different.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, not my old manager. No.
Got it.
He's the supervisor of the pool.
Okay.
And so Jorge used to have this like curly long hair-ish sort of, right? I don't know. He's a good-looking Latin guy. I never was like, oh my God, he's so hot, right? Which I normally do to everybody.
Yeah.
And he shaved his head.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what's this?
Now it changed?
I was like, well, I didn't realize that I was going to be the deal breaker, right? So I teased him like, hey, Top Gun, what's up? Hey, Top Gun. Because he looks like Top Gun. He wears these like aviator glasses. Excuse me. And he's super nice. Oh,
Yeah.
my God. And let me tell you, on a side note, he is, from what I have witnessed, he seems like one of the best supervisors or manager. And I don't want to muck up his title. I think he's a supervisor. But he has trained his team, and they're all good kids, right? He runs a very tight ship, and they all respect him. But yet, what I love about him is that it looks like they're also having fun, even when he's still doling out. And what I love even more about him is that when people come in and they act crazy, he's like, no, don't talk to my staff like that.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. Don't talk to them like that. Talk to me.
Yeah.
And I love that about him. What I love even more is when he teaches the class. He's really good. I burn like 600 calories whenever he teaches the class. And that's in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a nice good chunk, right? For those of you that burn calories, like normally the other kids, they only burn like 300 or 400, but he burns 6.
Yeah.
Because you're constant, you're going, and you do abs and you're like doing everything, right? And so I saw him walking out and I was like, oh my God, are you going to teach today? He's like, yeah, I'm teaching. I'm like, oh my God, it's so great, right? But there's a lot of new people that really haven't had the opportunity to experience his teaching or his level, right?
First timers.
And so they were like, who's this? And I'm going, that's supervisor. That's George. That's Jorge, right? Because I know everything.
Everybody comes to you,
Everybody
right?
comes to me like, who is that? Who's Danny? Who is that, right? And so then he's of course, again, it was another 800-degree day, and he's training another girl. Well, all of a sudden, he takes his shirt off, and then that was it. Everyone was like, all the ladies were like, oh my God, Danny, Danny. I'm like, why are you guys all talking to me? I'm trying to do the class. I'm trying to exercise, trying to get it out of my mind, right? I'm trying to take my mind. He's just so hot. So I need to get a photo. Maybe during this show, maybe there'll be a photo of him, and we'll just block his eyes out. I'm going to have to do some undercoverness to get him. He's a gorgeous man.
Yeah.
And Jorge, if you watch, let me tell you.
I've never seen you looking so gorgeous as you did tonight. I've never seen you shine so bright. You were amazing. I've never seen so many people want to be there by your side. And when you turn to
I know you are engaged to marry.
Soliciting right now.
But if that falls through, I'm going to start a fan club.
What a salesman. What a salesman on his own show.
He's so nice. He's so nice. And apparently, who knew? He's just good looking. Yeah, my God. I bet you in a suit he looks amazing. And I actually told him, I was like, you know, Ari, I never really looked at you that way, right? And then all the ladies were like, Danny, I did because... You know me, I have no filter. And he was laughing, and he was like, all right, cool. And he enjoyed it. Listen, take it while you can.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's flattering.
Yeah.
The ladies, they're older, and they're wonderful. And Miss Zoe, I say hi to Miss Zoe. Miss Zoe watches the show religiously, and she's in my class, and I really appreciate that. And I always love talking to her. And she just recently began taking the classes this summer.
Oh, cool.
Because they would normally go to a different pool because come summertime, it's crazy, all the kids, but they've all gone back to school now. And she ended up taking the classes, and she loved it.
Nice.
So I'm happy. I love her. She's amazing. And thank you for being a listener. Thank you for liking. Thank you for following. And thank you for subscribing. So, so that's how I kind of like ended my week, if you will, with a hot lifeguard. I probably should have pretended that I was drowning.
Save me.
I know, right? How fun. And... let's talk about politics.
Okay,
right?
we're back to this.
We got a lot. So remember, I'm not political, but I'm political now. Okay, okay, good. Now you know. I used to not be political, but now I have taken an interest in my life and my future, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned for the nation, as I'm sure all of the rest of you are.
Yeah.
We've gotten so many different viewpoints about Harris and Trump. And, I even spoke to one of my friends this morning, Anitra, and she was like, she ain't going to win.
Yeah.
She's like, they want Trump in there because Trump is a puppet.
Yep.
She goes, and they can control him. They go, and it's easy to make him the scapegoat.
Yeah.
And it's all about Congress and money. And she's not about the president. Nobody cares about that. It's about the Senate. It's about Congress. It's all of them. The president only gets 4 years, and what is it, Congress or Senate? How long do they stay in there?
As long as they want,
exactly,
yeah,
something
no
crazy
limit.
like that. We need to fact check and make sure, but they create the laws, and the president vetoes or he approves them. So, I'm afraid because I hear both sides. I don't know where they're getting this information, but our crazy cousin, she posted. You Gen Zers and millennials, it had to do with coffee. You're paying $5 for your coffee now, but imagine when our country turns communist, will you be able to wait in line for that coffee? And I'm like, where is this coming from?
Because a lot of people want to tell you that if you vote blue, you're going to turn into a communist. They did that with Bernie Sanders, and do people not realize what Social Security is? That's part of socialism, but that doesn't turn us into a socialized country. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it for people to understand. Like, you can have democracy and still have at least one socialist idea because we have it. It's called Social Security. It's not gonna blow up our whole country.
We also don't know if that's gonna be around when you and I retire.
No, true. But I'm just saying, it's like that's been around since we all know this, Roosevelt. And it hasn't changed since, and it might change as we get older, but our country hasn't fallen to socialism because we have Social Security, right? It doesn't make any sense.
It was interesting. She told me, she goes, it has nothing to do. She goes, haven't you realized that no one's been coming to the borders? She goes, it's deals. We have deals with countries. We have deals with Venezuela. We have deals, she goes, with all these different countries to allow maybe some Russians in or to allow Ukrainians in or to allow people from Venezuela. She goes, because there's been no Chinese. She goes, not one Chinese has come through. And I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, because we have already been contracted to allow so many people. And that's above the president's head. She goes, that has nothing to do. And I was like, I never heard that before.
Just I've never heard that.
I would like to kind of fact check that to be sure. But she works on the border.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She works with Border Patrol.
Oh.
She does medical. So when they come through, they do assessments of all their medical to release them. And she goes, just so you know, she goes, they track people. And I didn't know that they put trackers on them. I don't know. Again, I don't know how
probably through cell phones.
True that is.
Through
and
cell
that's what
phones.
she said also too, to keep track of them. I said, well then, both sides are claiming that they're going to control immigration, right? Trump's side's claiming that once they get elected, then they're going to deport in the first year alone 1 million people,
Which
right?
won't happen. They don't have the they don't have the money and they don't have the manpower. It's insane.
And they're going to be back the next day.
Isn't that true?
Yeah, because they have the money because they've been sending it to their family across country.
Yeah.
So when they go over, great, give me my money I sent you. I'm going back, right? And I make the joke, who's going to take care of your fat grandma in Oklahoma? Not you. The families are not.
Yeah.
Who's going to pick avocados? Who's going to pick oranges? Who's going to pick grapes? None of these motherfuckers are going to do that shit.
Yep.
No matter how much they pay. And then guess what? A bottle of wine's going to be $800. I'm just, look, I'm being my cousin.
We're spitballing.
I'm being my cousin, right? We're going to be real cute, true communists, right? Under his eye.
Yeah.
So, you have all that insanity. More insanity is... I would say J.K. Rowling.
I was like, what? You put me on the spot.
No.
Well, RFK
Yeah.
supporting
I was
Trump.
going to say J.K. Rowling. Reports had released earlier that he was straying to that side.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think that he did it just to remain relevant.
Yeah.
Personally. I don't know what his base is. I don't know numbers. I know that he has a base.
Yeah.
I know that there are people out there that want to scribble off both of the Trump and Harris's names and write his name in, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to win.
Yeah.
But he has traded sides. He has, because, the Kennedys have always been Democrats.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I didn't really know that, right? Until recently when I started looking it up. And then now that he has transferred to Republican, the Kennedy family came out with a statement, and it was all their names saying, we've always been Democrat. We've always,
Wow.
we will remain true, and we support Harris.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, my God.
So he stands apart.
He stands apart from that.
But he's kind of a weird guy.
He is kind of a weird guy. And it's, aren't they all kind of weird? That's like the most, that's a really huge, widely used word now is weird. But yeah, it's crazy right now. Trump scrambling. He's been working super hard to poll in the swing states. Harris, and also too, the DNC convention.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it, by the way.
You didn't? So I did. I watched it, and I was like, it felt very produced.
Well, I mean, come on.
Television.
Yeah.
There was a musical guest every single day. Was it uplifting? Yes. Was it positive? Absolutely. I'm hoping that it's a historical change. We're hoping, right?
Yeah.
Both sides want change.
Yeah.
Whether you're Republican or whether you're a Democrat, right? We just don't know who to vote for because we don't know who's going to really take us down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Truth be told. You don't know if it's going to be Harris. People complain. Even I in the beginning was like, wait a minute. Well, where has she been?
Yeah. Where has she been?
Where has she been? Now she wants to, lower prices. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in a weird way, how come gas? This is summertime. Aren't we in summer blend?
I hate that. And I remember when that started showing up, we have winter blends and summer blends. I'm like,
This is when?
never heard of that before.
Nor I.
Never. And all of a
It's
sudden our refineries, they blew up again. And now we have our winter blend. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
And why is it whenever you're at the gas station and they're refilling, it's only one truck with one hose?
Mm-hmm.
How is that? And we get 3 different gases out of that.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's really a strange time. But I want to kind of touch up on where is Kamala Harris, because just this week that just passed, Theo Von, a famous comedian, had Trump on his podcast and as a one-on-one, and they, and for me, not seeing Kamala Harris kind of sit with the everyday people and have conversations like that is very telling, because why is he doing that? And the kind of I guess you would say people that listen to Theo Von are the people that Trump is trying to get to. But if you're a Democrat listening to Theo Von and you see that, in my mind, I would be like, well, why don't I see more of the candidate I want with famous comedians and podcasters saying what I want to hear? Why isn't she putting herself out there?
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting because he's making himself like a candidate for the people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, he had to.
Yeah.
Because after her nomination, after all of her fundraising efforts, there's been so much that's been thrown at her, right? And I think it's a whirlwind for her. I don't know. I'm not on her team. But what I'm assuming, because that's only the word I can use, is that they are really preparing her for the debate.
Yeah.
I think you're right. You know, the DNC, going back to that every single day, was like a culmination and a build up, right? Of her finally showing her face on Thursday. Her speech was good. It was to the point, but I felt it was a little bit short. You know, Trump droned on for over 90 minutes, but
As he always does.
you know, and it turned into him finger pointing. But, you know, there were a few points. She didn't touch on certain things. I know that she was fact checked. And what was interesting was I think he had like 9 things that were complete, like
Just
bullshit lies, right?
Yeah.
They were unheard of. They're like, this doesn't exist, or this is not true. Whereas hers were interesting because while they were not wrong, they just weren't really proven that they were wrong. So in terms of fact checking, they really weren't. It was interesting the way CNN, and I will say CNN, had worded it, because they made it seem as if she only had 2 things that were not correct, but everything else, the other 3 things, she had very few.
Do you remember like an example?
I know I need our phone. We need to get an iPad.
Yeah, we need
something on our computer, because it was you know, when it happened, it was last Thursday. So I'm sure it's still up there. Go to CNN, look and see. But I do know that's a big thing now, that everybody's fact checking, right? Everyone's a fact check. But what they're not bringing up is, because they keep bringing up the taxes, right? And, you know, right now it's so expensive for this, but people don't really, we're still in Trump's
tax
cycle
bracket.
of tax, right? So I think it's interesting that Biden's getting blamed and Kamala's getting blamed. They're all getting blamed when technically we're still in that cycle.
Yeah.
But tomato. The debate is when?
The 10th or the 8th. Having that conversation with you, trying to figure out how we're going to get this rolling. But I think it's the 10th. It's
I
on
hope
a
so.
Thursday.
I'm not here the 8th.
Yeah, so then it's the 10th.
Okay.
You said you were free.
Yeah. Is that Tuesday?
Thursday?
I said no. I think that the 7th is a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
The 8th is a Sunday. Or the 9th.
So then it's a
The
Tuesday.
10th is either a Monday or it's like a Monday or a Tuesday.
I got to still look into all that equipment I got to get. But I think this will work. Going off topic, I think this will work and help us do that, but I still need some other equipment that I have to buy.
Well, you've been privy to the inner workings of behind the scenes of Do It Like Danny. So we're trying to live stream it, and so that we can give our opinions of the debate. Be our own fact checkers, if you will.
If all else fails, we'll just use our phone for a live Insta for now.
Here comes Ellen. She's moving her stuff out. She's moving out a Montecito. Yeah, so a lot coming up. A lot coming up in terms of this political landscape. You know, people are still on the fence. After Harris spoke, you know, Texas had a surge in blue. I think that's a lie.
I never know anymore. I think the one thing that Trump really proved to me, and I hate to say this, but you don't know who to trust. Can't trust the president. You can't trust our media, because one media says one thing, the other media says the other. We're in a really weird time, and it's more about...
You can't trust the government.
No, it's just like, whose side are you on? It's like...
And what's crazy, and out of all of this, you know the one thing that always surprises me that people never refute or go against? And that's the IRS.
Why do you think that is?
Why do we pay taxes? And even you said it, right? Was it you? Someone said it to me and said, we pay taxes on when we buy the items. We pay taxes when we sell the items. We pay taxes on, if we have the money in our account. We pay taxes on everything.
Everything, yeah.
For what? But nobody ever goes against that.
Uh-huh.
I would love to hear Harris or Trump attack the IRS.
Yeah, they never
Because they
will.
don't want to tax tips. But I hate to break it to you, that goes to the IRS. And they tax you on everything. Even Venmo now. And look at Venmo and what's it, and Zelle and all that. They want their hand is dipped in everything.
The
They're
government always wants their hand.
they're
in
the
what
true
you want.
mafia.
Oh, yeah.
Mafiosos is the IRS.
Yeah.
That's
true.
what need to burn down. Burn down the IRS. I didn't say that out loud. This is just a parody and a show about, whatever.
Yep.
Listen, if the president can get away with grabbing people's pussies, I'm pretty sure I'll be okay saying burn down the IRS.
I just want to know where all that money goes when you think about it.
Yeah, where does it go? It goes to military weapons to help us fight wars, I'm sure. Especially in Israel and the Palestinians and all that insanity.
Oh, yeah.
We are the world police, and our little fingers are dipped in everything because it protects oil. It protects this, it creates freedom for others, but yet jail terms for other. It's a very mind-boggling cycle. And again, if we could do the conspiracy theories or the theories of conspiracy and go down those rabbit holes, I mean, will we ever know the truth about anything?
No.
Will we ever know the truth about 9/11?
No.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy on how all these years we were told aliens don't exist. Aliens
And
don't
now they do.
exist. And then all of a sudden during COVID, it was poignant to let people know, oh, well, they do. So.
Well, we don't know if aliens exist. We just know that UFOs, or what do they call them now? They're not UFOs, but I can't remember the term. But
They're not.
they're
Identified now?
yeah, there's something like that. But they're anyways.
Someone's going to pilot them. They're not old drones.
They
from
don't
years
know,
ago.
but now they've come out and said that yes, those sightings are real, but they don't know if they're aliens. We don't know what the hell they are.
They're something. There's definitely something that can exist in the radiation of space.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I agree.
Clearly, that's not artificial, but there's some sort of other life form out there.
I agree.
mean, not to be crazy and do theories of conspiracy and conspiracy theories, but we're not alone.
No.
We're not alone.
No. I mean, if what they say about space and the universe is real and how massive it is, there's no possible way you could think that we are the only things that exist.
And for all we know, we could just be test subjects.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere there's aliens that are like, oh my God, have you seen season 2024
We're like an
of
ant
Earth,
farm.
right?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? It's crazy. And it's,
Let's take a vacation down there. What are they doing now?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that'd be terrible.
could you imagine? It was just one big hoax.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
No, we went too far down the hole.
We went too far. We went way too far. Way too far.
We broke our own minds.
Yeah. So back in the news. So that's the political spectrum right now of what's going on in terms of the update of. I've always said, make sure you vote. I don't care who you vote for.
Yeah.
I do a little bit, but Trump is gonna make it crazy for us.
Yeah.
You know,
We're
that
gonna have another 4 years of
2025.
crazy.
What is that project or whatever? That is written by, right-wing Christians. Trump it's crazy. It's all crazy. Educate yourself. Fact check. Please don't post things on Facebook that are not true. You should look first and see. And that goes out to the cousin that's on Facebook that's posting stuff all the time. But I'm just like,
So I hope she's
my
watching.
mind is blown. I don't think she watches.
No, I'm joking.
No, but my mind is blown at like all of the things that she posts and that she doesn't believe that those are racist.
Can you do? But how old is she?
60s?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Maybe she's losing it, though. It's a possibility.
I think there's some mental health issues there.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I wouldn't put it past her. She
There's-
sounds pretty crazy.
There's a deacon that's always like trying to refute, and he's like, "That's not true." She posted something about Kamala, and then the deacon wrote back and said, "This isn't true. You should fact check."
A Catholic deacon?
Uh-huh.
Oh, interesting.
Like the religious people are going after her.
And that's a tough one right there. Usually they
Okay.
go with you. They stand with you.
That just gives you a little bit of a hint of a clue as you might be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So with all that being said, we know that the insanity between Trump and we know Harris We just want a better country.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in, we all want a better country. Both sides want that. We have to figure out a happy medium. Obviously, maybe some of Trump's policies and obviously some of Harris's, and create this medium where it's not us against you and vice versa. There's too much. I mean, people are like deleting people off of their Facebooks because of what they're saying.
Yeah.
And they're not fact checking. And it's really surprising. It's very sad because we should be unified. We should be bonding together to fight together and to figure something out where more money goes to teachers. I'm sorry.
Education, yeah.
Education in general. Bam. And why, as a nation, do we make it impossible to get out of student debt? You're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a piece of paper that doesn't guarantee you anything.
Yep. You better be careful with what you choose because it's either going to pay off or it's not.
I have friends that are still paying student debt loans, and they've been out of college for 20 years.
That's insane.
And that's insane that hangs over your head and that you can't have a better life. But yet somebody from another country can come, get free education, free housing, free medical. We don't even do that to our veterans.
No.
Our veterans are homeless. Where is that person that's the people that fought for our country so that we could put stupid shit on Facebook
and sit here and talk about it, yeah.
sit here and talk about it and wait in line for your $800 cup of coffee. Yeah. The veterans that put their lives on the line to go into uncharted territory, to whether that would be to rescue someone or to kill someone, for whatever it was the reason, think about it. Those people really put their lives on the line.
Yeah.
We haven't. Listen, just because you are out there in television or whatever you think you are,
it's just TV.
It's just TV.
Yeah, you're not fighting a war, and you're definitely not going out there taking bullets. So
no, you're not. So until you have medals of freedom or some sort of other accomplishments from the military, I mean, where's that person?
Yeah.
I wanted to hear Harris say something to that effect. Let's take care of our veterans. There's a lot of them.
They don't talk about it anymore.
They don't talk about it anymore. No, because they're homeless. Why aren't we talking about rent control? Why aren't we talking about all the people that are paying thousands of dollars for rent and the landlords just keep raising the rent? And then they go, oh, wow, why are people homeless? You're idiots. That's Newsom. That's Karen Ass. All of them.
It's also happening in Hawaii. Just watched this thing about it, but that's a whole nother topic.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Because they've allowed the landlords to run rampant, and there's nobody policing them because they allow, you can raise it this much this year. But there's people that don't get raises like that.
Yeah.
And when you're setting a 10% increase for your rental, like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and who can afford that?
It's crazy.
Wild.
So I would have liked to have heard a little more of that. I get it. Wait and see. That's my 2 cents. And if you would like to refute that, well, feel free. Go ahead. Say something in the YouTube comments. I answer. I'm all about learning. I'm not going to be one of those people that, deletes you because you have a different opinion.
Or blocks.
Or blocks you. Or I only block really bad tricks. That's all I block. Which, if you're bad at sex, you deserve to be bad.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, to end on a good note, what I will say is we need someone to bring us back to this circle of friendship, family, fun, and f***ing. Because everyone needs a little sex. And I hope that you guys get some this week. Because clearly the little orange man needs it. Don't pay for it on Epstein's Island. Oops, did I say that out loud? Funny how, when this is my last dig, funny how RFK and Trump took the stage and both of them were on Epstein's Island.
Interesting.
So that's all I'm going to say. Think about it yourself. There's no island for us. But there's always going to be a Do It Like Danny next week. So thank you so much for watching. Like, follow, subscribe. And if you think I'm insane, you can tell me. Have a good one. Remember, do it like Danny.